Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And thanks for subscribing. We truly appreciate all the support. We're back at it. Tesla sent out the latest update, the quote-unquote wide update for the weekend, version 11.3.2, which is a point improvement over the previous version, 11.3.1. And we're going to take it for a quick drive just to do some regression testing. This 11.3.1 build was actually one of the best builds, maybe the best build to date for FSD Beta. Far from perfect, but it gave you a lot of confidence, provided a lot of comfort, and exuded a lot of confidence to the point where you actually wanted to use it more often than not. Previous builds have been ups and downs, highs and lows, varying levels of comfort and confidence, which basically makes it so that you may or may not want to use that particular build, a version of FSD Beta. This one is lots of confidence. It makes you want to use it a lot, giving you that enthusiasm back for trying to test it out. Okay, so far in the release notes, nothing really comes out to mind, stands out here in terms of the release notes, except for this bottom line here, which says adjusted position of automatic blind spot camera when FSD Beta is active to prioritize autopilot visualization. Drag the camera to save the position. This is obviously talking specifically to Model 3 and Model Y because the autopilot visualization is on this screen, as is the blind spot camera. So it obviously moves itself in a position that prioritizes the visuals so as to not obstruct it. And it gives you the ability to move it around. That's not the case here with the Model S. I still cannot move this around, which is kind of silly. Elon, we definitely need to get the blind spot camera to be moved for the Model S and Model X. We need to have it up top somewhere. We don't need to look down for the blind spot. These are bigger cars, wider cars, making them susceptible potentially to the size and position of the driver to more blind spots than you would in a 3 and Y. So we definitely need that. So if you guys are listening, please add the ability to move this blind spot camera up here, like you do with the 3 and Y. Okay. Otherwise, it seems pretty much identical to everything we've seen before. And what I'm really hoping for in this particular release is that there are no regressions. The last one was so good. And one of the things that Tesla is really struggling with, I'm not going to say they're bad at it, but they're struggling with, is being able to maintain regressions and make sure that they're fixing one thing and not breaking a bunch of other things, or 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or 1 step forward, 2 steps back, however you want to call it. But basically, we want to make sure we retain everything that was great about 11.3.1 and 11.3.2, and then maybe add a few things that may be better. Okay, so let's take it out for a drive right now. I'll just switch over. Got my destination in. Start to drive immediately. Wait for FSD visuals to kick in. And then we'll proceed. Again, just highlighting and focusing on regression. So this is more of a regression-based drive rather than looking for anything specific. I'll activate here. And we are off to the races. Getting over in this lane, running over some debris. Not good. Still biases towards the right of the lane, then goes left to go wide. I don't really like that behavior because cars tend to creep up next to you if they see you're going to turn. Creeping, little hesitant here, and it goes. Big pothole, hits it this time, and we're off. I'll bump up to 30 just to be a parity, and we're off. Still seems smooth. Definitely want to also test it on the highway. So our second pass is going to be a highway test, regression test, to see if we can conquer that little navigation issue. See if they fix that issue where the navigation said to go one way and the car decided to go another way. A little bit perceptive braking around the joggers. Now some really, really slow braking here for the turn. No cars are around. A little hesitant, a little bit herky-jerky, not as smooth on that particular turn, which was the case with 11.3.1 on that particular turn. Kind of wide here, and it kind of seems like it's regressing a bit here. Still puts on the turn signals. Kind of seemed like it regressed in those first 2 turns, so that's not a good thing so far. Or it could be at parity. I'm not sure. I got to review the last one and see. But not great on these particular turns, at least the first 2. Really, really wide. I know I noticed that last time, so that's pretty much consistent from the last time as well. Taking these turns a little bit too wide for my taste. It might be fine. If we put a drone up, it might look great. But from my perspective, how I drive these roads is a little too wide, close to the curb, which is what I don't want. Again, that debris is near the curb, and very odd turning behavior here. Going up, creeping up, cars are coming from both sides. Foot hovering over the brake. Yoke seems very uncertain. Very uncertain. Cars are seeing me pull out very far to this creep limit. We have an opening, but the car's moving kind of fast. And now we go. A little stopping hesitation. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm gonna flag that. In the middle of the intersection, stopping and then trying to make its mind up. I would love it to just go straight through, which is typical of normal turns on 11.3.1. See that perceptive braking? Trying to see and anticipate what that person in the car was gonna do. A little bit too hard on that one as well. I'll flag that one as well. A little too hard on that braking, not as smooth and soft as 11.3.1 probably would have handled that situation. Okay, so far a little bit of regression, which is again what I feared with these new updates, is just fixing one thing and breaking a bunch of other things, or regressing a bunch of other things. But let's see, let's give it a chance. Car kind of peeking out, it kind of evaded that car trying to come out of the parking spot, which was great. Turn signal on now in advance, that's also pretty good. Just to get into this lane, which is great. Doesn't react to that car creeping up a little bit, which is also good. And now it should probably stay on this left side of the lane. And the path planner seems to want to follow suit with these cars getting onto the right side of the lane, which I guess is okay because all the other cars are doing it, but that's really not the behavior you want it to do, because typically people turn here. And if there was a car at the light that turned here, that would be a need for you to get into this lane. But other than that, you should be in that left side of the lane to go straight because cars are parked going forward. I see on the visualization a little bit of division here at the light here where it shows two lanes. I wonder if that's throwing it off. Okay, now it's biasing this way. It knows it needs to make this turn. Now it gets over, and it's going to do the same behavior. I can already tell it's already going to do the same behavior as 11.3.1, which is okay if it does the exact same thing. I'm okay with that. It's going to go in to the right, then go wide, then try to make the turn, and it's going to throw the person behind us off. Look how this person makes the turn. Goes right into it. Perfect. Look how this car makes a turn. Very odd. It actually didn't go wide, so that was great. I actually take that back. It didn't go wide like I thought it was, but it did have lots of hesitation and not as natural feeling as 11.3.1 would make these turns. But again, let's give it a chance. Pretty slow here. Coming up to our destination, we'll call it here. Okay, so first pass, not the greatest. Seemed like a little bit regressive in the first couple of turns and a little bit unsure. But let's take it out to the highway now and see if anything's regressed there. All right, here we go. We're going to start off entering the highway like we did before. Regression testing, specifically that sort of yield, that yielding merge. Yielding merge here. And seeing how close it gets to the yield barrier here. Let's see what happens this time. I'll be prepared to take over. Going kind of wide, still going kind of wide. Slows down this time and course corrects. Very good. Slowed down and course correct before it got too quick. Great job. Okay, so some additions, some changes, some enhancements on this one. Slowing down nicely to take this turn, leaning on the inside of the turn, which is a great thing to do, very human-like. Adjusted speed based on the speed limit. I'll bump up to 60. Merging. Signal on now. Look at this, signal on the merge. They listened. This is why Tesla's awesome. Double lane change with the signal on. It was all clear, so I'm okay with that. Great job here. So far, great job on the highway. So some enhancements on the highway so far with some regressions on city streets. Let's see what it does. It's gonna bump to 65 here, so I'm gonna bump to 70 now, and actually I'll wait. I'll stay at 60, let it do its thing by itself. Car's coming on the merge, what's gonna happen? Slows down for the car, speeds up. Let's see what happens. Waiting for the car, slows down. Great job. Very natural, very comfortable, very human-like. Debris is on the road here. It's not gonna evade it because this car is not gonna evade it. And we just got some debris. Making a lane change to get into the faster lane. Super silky smooth lane changes as before, very seamless. Just as the double one that we had experienced right before that one. So still good on the lane change, but then it has to go back because this is the way it needs to go. So not a good decision here. And I didn't check minimal lane changes. I have it on the assertive profile, excuse me, on the average profile for FSD Beta. I'll check minimal lane changes next time and see if that makes a difference. But it tried to go around for a speed-based lane change, realized this is the exit we need to be in, and this is where it messed up last time because it's supposed to take this exit, and it took the exit before. Let's see what happens now. It went here, thought about it. Wow, look at that. Tesla devs for the win. Lane change here, slow down. Exit, turn signal. Very composed, yes. This is what we want to see. It was very aggressive before. Slows down beautifully here. Very comfortable, very human-like. Very confidence inspiring. Slows down about 25. Probably could have did it at 30, but I'm okay with that. Better safe than sorry. I'm not mad at it. Super smooth, no herky-jerky steering wheel. Just a nice, smooth, controlled turn to a stop sign. So I have to stop aggressively. A little too aggressive, but I'm okay. No cars are coming. And it goes for it. So that was the highway bit. I'm happy with that. Great job so far. Enhancements, they've learned, they've listened. They've responded to the feedback from myself and others so far. Anticipation, I'm gonna give it some accelerator. Slow down way too much for that. Flag it as I sing its praises. But they're listening, they're getting the feedback, and they're incorporating great changes like that. So this is really, really good, especially from a highway perspective. Slows down around this car and proceeds. I'll go to 40 here and see if it can make the rest of this trip. So this is more suburban, local roads, country roads, whatever you want to call them. Should be a piece of cake, but that was really impressive so far on the highway. Some debris kicking up, probably could have took that turn a little tighter, but nothing bad, just my preference. And I try to do a decent job of differentiating what my preference is versus what's right versus wrong. All right, there's a little bit of gray area in between right and wrong of what a person's preference would be. And that's just my perspective, my feeling in the car as you guys are riding along with me and can't feel what I feel. So if it goes too close, it's too close for my taste, my preference versus, what's right versus what's wrong. I'll try to call those out a little bit more specifically next time. Should stay straight. This time it stayed straight. Good job. Last time it got in that lane, it knows it has to merge up here. There's a merging lane up here. It stayed straight because it knows it has to go straight. So these are little small changes, small details, nothing to write home about, but they all add up to a more comfortable experience and a more confidence-inspiring experience on FSD Beta. It makes you want to use it more. If people are confident in it and they're comfortable in it, they're going to use it. They're going to buy it. They're going to subscribe to it. But if they're not comfortable, if it doesn't do the things that they expect it to do, then they're not going to buy it. They're not going to use it. Lucid. Look at that. And we're off. Little hesitation here. Let two cars pass us. Now it gets into it. Wow. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. I'm going to disengage on that one. Car made an unexpected lane change when trying to go straight. Car made an unexpected lane change when trying to go straight. Just wanted to get that voice note in there because it was a straight and a merge and it decided to jump back at the last minute. So it course corrected the past behavior initially coming up to the stoplight by staying in the left lane. Then when it got past the light, it decided to jump back into the right lane, which was ending and merging into the left lane. So that was the bad behavior, not good at all. Wanted to send that voice note, wanted to disengage to really call it out. Otherwise, from a regression standpoint, still poised, still composed, still super smooth, still centered in the lane, still very seamless lane changes, and really, really excellent on the highway, even more so now with the new features, new enhancements they made where it didn't take the wrong turn, even though I thought about it for a second, took the right turn, the correct turn, and got in and did double lane changes very smoothly. That was one of the ones that I caught in my highway test where I thought it was making those double lane changes too aggressively. I should have let it just do its thing, and I maybe have disengaged too prematurely, but it's making double lane changes, and because it's so smooth, it just looks like a veer. It feels like a veer, it's like veering across, but it's signaling, so I guess it's okay in that regard versus just cutting across the lane. So here we go. Here's the lane everyone talks about. Look how wide it's going. It merges, so it needs to be here, even if it was making that turn. See, there's no line here. It should have been in the middle, the other part of the lane, and made the turn a little bit wider because the lane ended, the line stopped, and the merge was right there at the corner. That was my concern. That was what we sort of got into discussion with in the comments. Was people said, oh, it was a lane there and it was merging, so it was in the right lane to do that. I tend to disagree just because people behind us try to pass us. Bump up to 30 because someone is tailing me pretty hard and nobody's in sight, so there's no clear path of danger here. But my point in saying that was just that the lane merged right where that turn is. So if it's better poised to make that turn, right, from the left lane. That way no one can try to pass you, especially if the car tries to go wide, left wide, which is what it typically does, and turn. It's a safer maneuver is what I'm saying. Great job here. Really, really smooth, really confidence inspiring here. And just a nice, comfortable, semi-autonomous drive through suburbia. Still a little late getting around these cars for my preference. Not the wrong thing to do, but a little late. Would love it to just line up and make its own lane and stay there so it doesn't have to make that unnecessary weaving in and out. All right, pretty much a blind turn here. No cars are coming. It can go, and it does. It gets out there and goes. Great job. Car in the middle. Look at that unprotected left. That's what we typically do our unprotected left test for some of the high speed unprotected lefts. No Chuck Cook left, but it's the best we can do here. And that car was way out in the middle of the lane, so not uncommon for FSD Beta to probably do something similar. Get further out, but again, you have to be able to look left and right further down the road to have that confidence that you're out there and you can evade a scenario should it come up. Almost at our destination, and we will call it. We will call it a day. All right, guys, so that was it. That was FSD Beta version 11.3.2, the point release, the updates, the one that's supposed to be going wider release. And we're releasing those in waves. I know people are asking, hey, where did it come for us? And it didn't go wide to me because he said it was going to go wide. Wider just means the next wave, more people. And they have to do it in batches like that to catch regressions that don't affect the mass fleets, right? So instead of just sending it out to everybody, hundreds of thousands of people, they release it in waves and bursts. So maybe this wave goes out to a few new people, a couple thousand new people in this release. Today is Sunday, and then maybe some more go out on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday and release it in batches, catch any bugs or any issues that may come up so you can roll it back issue a new build before it gets to everybody and you reduce your risk. So that's really how it works. So just hang tight, stay tuned. You'll really enjoy it, especially if you've been riding with the beta for a while. You'll really enjoy it. If you just got the beta, you might not know what to expect. You might think, oh, it's horrible, but it's great progress from where it started in pretty much short time, a couple years. So not terrible. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. What did you think about this drive? What do you think about regressions in general and how Tesla handles them? Are they good at it? Are they bad at it? Is your experience different than my experience in terms of what this build yields in terms of being able to make those smooth turns, lane changes, recognizing stop signs, and making the right decisions at the right times? Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until the next time, enjoy your day, enjoy your Tesla.